What's going on, everybody? On New Year's Eve. Hope all is doing well. There were not a ton of announcements this week, so we got some other stuff we're going to fill some time with. Hope anybody was able to watch the video I posted about an hour ago now. Had a little premiere, hung out with about 15, 16 of you all. I know Jeff was there. Good to see you, Jeff. Hey, Dave, how you doing this week? Hope you have a good New Year. Like I said, not a ton of announcements. So I have like a stupid amount of pickups this week. So we're gonna go over those, and yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. And John, hope you get to hang out because let's just say it's gonna be a Severin heavy night. Let's good to see you back this week. Maximus, how you doing? Hope everybody has a good New Year's. Anybody have anything crazy planned? Anybody out and about this weekend to celebrate New Year's? Mitchell, how are you? Good, good, good. Lots here. Dustin, what's going on, man? Feels like it's been a while. All right, let me get into the announcements so we can get past that fun part and then break into some of the more interesting things we're going to cover. I think we're going to go over collection update. We're going to go over our announcements as usual, go over what's coming out next week. And then the big thing, I want to do more discussion on how everybody feels about the year that we just had in boutique Blu-ray collecting. So I obviously just put out that video, but I want to see what everybody else's thoughts are. So we're gonna go over some of that. Ash 7 will be taking a lot of time to ship once you get the notification. Ah, yeah. So they got the label printed, but it takes a while to hand off. Yeah, that sucks. But thankfully, most of the stuff that they're shipping is usually going priority. So once you get the actual movement started, it happens pretty quickly. So, yeah, like I said, yes, I have been blessed by the fickle Severin gods, and we're going to go over that tonight. So let's get into some of these announcements. I couldn't remember if we went over last week on Grindhouse releasing or not, but I figured this is a good time, anyways, to bring this back up again. So, this is a reminder that on the 1st of January at grindhousereleasing.com, you're going to be able to pre order Death Game, the newest 2 disc deluxe edition Blu ray from Grindhouse Releasing. This is the movie that was the original film that inspired Keanu Reeves's terrible Knock Knock film. This is a much better movie. So hopefully everybody likes this one. It's been a long time since Grindhouse has put anything out, so this is very welcome. Supposedly they've got like 3 or 4 titles in the pipeline coming soon, but it has been a long time. Eric, glad you're here. Good to see you. And what's going on? No Plan Joe, glad you're here. All right. So yeah, don't forget Death Game. This is available in 2 days. And also at the same time, you're going to be able to order the Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself, the authorized biography of Rudy Ray Moore. There's only going to be like half of the 2,000 copies. So if you really want this, make sure you're in there on the first or second day. I don't see this lasting a super long time, especially because a lot of them went for the Kickstarter. So if you really want this, make sure you get in on it. Okay, now everything else for sure was all in the last week. So I wanted to take a couple minutes and go over this. So we don't have Arrow announcements this week, but we do have the clues that they released from Fran Simeone, I think that's how you say his last name, about what is coming in 2022. And so now we already have announcements through March. So everything from April on is a full mystery. Let's see. Tom, what's going on? Glad you're here this night. Uh, so in April, 8D, the current consensus is that is probably 8 Diagram Pole Fighter, another Shaw Brothers title, getting one of the standalone discs, just like Come Drink With Me. That's the other one that we just got. The CC2 in April is probably considering what February looks like. That's probably a second Claude Chabrol box, which is odd. Honestly, surprised that they're putting that much into him. Some of these others, though, these are a lot that we are unsure of. The TBC that you see at the end of some of these is also an interesting one because not entirely sure what TBC stands for. Obviously, it's not to be determined. I don't know if TBC is something that is more commonly used in the UK, where Arrow is based out of, but there are some interesting things on here that we can fully guess here. So obviously in June we have Shawscope Volume 2. Now I would not be surprised if that was actually like fully announced here in the next month or so because Shawscope 1 got a pretty hefty like 4-month lead in time. So I would bet that the Shawscope 2 we're probably going to get actual announcements on near the end of January or early February. That would not be a surprise at all. Some of these other ones on here, the under 2023 at the bottom here, we have TOTBD. That has been pretty much confirmed to be Tombs of the Blind Dead. Now, unsure how great that is going to be because supposedly there is a very messed up situation with the masters for Tombs of the Blind Dead. Dave says, hasn't been out for New Year's since 1998. 1990 saw Phantom of the Opera musical live in Toronto on New Year's Eve. That sounds like a good New Year's Eve. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't think I've ever gone out on New Year's Eve. I grew up in a not so great area, and then ever since we've been in Kansas City, we've had kids. So interesting. Good point here, Flickering. TBC could be to be confirmed. And whether that would be the title or format is another guess. And then, so the first one I mean, April, we have our first one there. It says UHD TBC, which means a 4K to be confirmed. So it's probably just, can they get it out fast enough? Which means they're getting a 4K, but we don't actually have a clue for it. Yes, Tombs is coming from Synapse supposedly, but I'm curious how they're gonna do it because supposedly the masters for a couple of the films are trashed. So I have no idea what's going on there, but, this would mean that Tombs of the Blind Dead is probably coming in the UK in 2023, and that would be, just like they just did with Phenomena, where they put it out in the UK, Synapse does it in the US. Now some of these other ones, I am, for some reason, trying to think of what a lot of these are. So on December here, we have EMP box. I have been thinking that might be an Empire box, which would consist of things that were related to full moon potentially. There was a big Empire box released in the US that was not it wasn't necessarily original. They borrowed a lot of the Scream Factory discs themselves and just reboxed them, which was interesting, and they sold out pretty quickly. And I agree, Maximus. If we can get a good looking one, it would be fantastic. Preston, finally catching a live stream. Glad to have you. Appreciate all of your end of year list. Hope all is well. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been trying to put as much time as I could this last week, especially being on vacation. It is a lot to do. I'm hoping to do at least one or two more. I did my 20 favorites over on my other show, but I think I'm going to try to do like a top 25 favorites of the year for myself. John says, "Ain't we all getting massively drunk and ordering way more than VS than we should buy?" That is true, and we're going to be talking about that in just a few. So, any of these other ones, anybody else have any guesses? BL box. There's not a lot I've thought of for that. The only thing I could think of is Bruce Lee box, and that's a maybe. Um, I'm curious what that could be. And then right next to it, we have G times three. I think it would be interesting if they got the rights to Godzilla in the UK, but I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily count on that. But yeah, the Criterion release did not come out in the UK, so that's a possibility. But yeah, there's a lot here that we don't know for sure what it's going to be. I do like that in July we do have something that says UHD box, which that's enticing for me for sure. But yes, lots of boxes here, lots of they got westerns, they got a Mexican box. It looks like Fassbender Volume 3. It looks like it's coming in May. Um, yeah, tons of stuff here. JC could be a handful of different things. October, the H box. Everybody is speculating that that is Hellraiser, and that we are getting an updated version of the Scarlet box with at least the first one 4K, kind of like they did for Children of the Corn. Mitchell says he still has his coffin-shaped box for the Blind Dead, would like an upgrade. I agree, and I also still have it sitting over on that shelf over there, right next to my Phantasm Sphere. All right, that is enough Arrow for the moment. Kino, coming out March 15th is Zoot Suit. I know literally nothing about this one. I'm not a huge Edward James Olmos fan, but yeah, again, they're putting tons of love into this release. Getting a slipcover release, getting a new commentary, getting a new interview with the director, which is big. I mean, Kino releases never got all kinds of features up until the last couple of years, and they are going like balls to the wall straight into it, which is awesome. And I really hope they keep doing it and they are seeing that it's worth it. And I think especially with the slipcovers, like I mentioned in that video, I think they are selling more. And because they're seeing more success, they're willing to put more into it. But at the same time, their sales are great and they're still going for around the same sale price that they were before they did all the extras. So there's literally nothing to complain about here. After Zoot Suit, Christmas Cruelty is coming from Unearthed Films. We got this announcement right around, I think this was Christmas Eve that this was posted. This is coming in around Christmas in 2022, supposedly. This is a movie that follows both a serial killer as he plans for his next kills and the next set of victims he has to set his sights on. As the group of friends we get to know prepare for Christmas in their own way, we also follow the killer as he stalks and does his final research for this year's Christmas Cruelty. In the last act of the movie, he invades the home of our group of friends to execute his twisted little plan as foreshadowed in the first act. Now, I have not seen this one. I have heard that this is actually a terrible movie, but I love holiday horrors, and I'm really excited to see this. No Plan Joe. This is the first thing I'd hoped for because I grew up a little hint into some of my teenage years. I was in marching band, and because of that, you were pretty much required to love ska music. So I grew up loving ska and swing. So hopefully that is filled with something like that, and I will definitely be looking into it. Maximus asks if 2022 will wreck my wallet the way 2021 did. Only time will tell. Out of the announcements we've gotten so far, I kind of think that I think it will. I think 2022 is going to compete with 2021 for sure. With the increase in supplements as well as slips, do you think Kino might start raising prices? Undoubtedly. I also think not only those, but supply chain issues and the amount of work that all of these are taking is going to demand that they raise prices slightly as well. Now, I don't think that they will raise the initial prices so much. I think their MSRPs are pretty much on track with what it should be, and I foresee their sales being a little less enticing eventually. I don't know if that'll be soon, but I would assume that that would happen eventually. Oh, Alyssa watched Benny Loves Me. Benny Loves Me. Watch Benny Loves You based on my recommendation. That's awesome. I'm glad you loved it. It is such a fun movie. Such a fun movie. All right, next from Kino. This one is actually pretty cool. I do love stuff like this. We are getting an Edgar G. Ulmer box set, kind of. It's a sci-fi collection of films. It's got The Man from Planet X, Beyond the Time Barrier, and The Amazing Transparent Man. And the coolest thing, we were just talking about new supplements. Check this out. We are getting new 2K masters on at least two of the films, and then commentary for from Planet X by some film historians. A commentary for the Man from Planet X. That was misspelled there. That's awesome by film historian Gary D. Rhodes and Ariane Ulmer Klipes, which is the daughter of Edgar G. Ulmer, and then a new commentary for The Man from Planet X by another historian, new commentary for Beyond the Time Barrier by some other historians, and then a new commentary for The Amazing Transparent Man. That is awesome. These are all, by the way, from 1951, 1960, and also 1960, which is awesome. This is the kind of box set that I really love, and I hope that people actually grab onto so that we can see more titles like this come out eventually. Tom says it's a bad sign. I already can't wait for the next Kino sale. Speaking of Kino sale, I think this is it. We might have a Kino sale to talk about as well. Jeff is picking that up. That's a good sign, at least. Hopefully, more people clue in on that one. Surprisingly, not many more announcements left already. Kino also announced everything is Kino right now. 4K UHD of In the Heat of the Night, starring Sidney Poitier and Rod Steiger. This is winner of 5 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Screenplay, and Editing. And then the director was nominated. We don't have a date for this yet, and this is based on the 2017 4K restoration that was done. So it should be a fairly fresh update. I do believe. Did they confirm on here? Maybe I'm thinking something else. I thought it was confirmed that this was going to be with HDR. Not entirely sure, but with the amount of time that they've been announcing these ahead of time, I don't know how soon we're going to be able to count on that. We still have Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind that we're supposed to be waiting on. We still have, oh gosh, there's a handful of 4K. We have the rest of the Man with No Name trilogy that's coming. There are so many that they've announced long before that still don't have a date. Like Eternal Sunshine, I think that was announced like last February, and we have not heard anything else. So hopefully soon. But they put out so many titles. This could this could be at any point, basically. This one though. So this one is cool. We are getting a new Ghostbusters set. A brand new Ghostbusters set coming on February 1st, and this is going to include Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2, and the brand new Ghostbusters film that was actually it's still in theaters here, I believe. Not sure if it's everywhere else still. But yes, this is, by the way, available to pre order now. Um, let me. This is the important part. So, Ghostbusters 1 and 2 in this set are going to have a proper 4K resolution with Dolby Vision for the first time. So these are going to be different than the first two 4Ks we got for these. And not to mention, just like Mitchell is pointing out right here, we got some really interesting information here. So we've already received several Ghostbusters releases, but the forthcoming Ghostbusters Ultimate Collection is truly loaded with new extras, including an extremely rare 114-minute preview cut of the original film presented in standard definition, and lost Dana Barrett audition footage with several prominent actresses that all lost out to Sigourney Weaver. And then for the superfan, there are also over an hour of raw dailies encompassing 7 scenes from the film. And then there's also more. The Ultimate Collection also includes a whopping 19 never before seen deleted scenes from Ghostbusters 2. And also, there is a digital download of Paul Feig's Ghostbusters 2016 included, but no physical component as of this moment. Oh, that's cool. No Plan Joe says they are adding Ghostbusters 2016 in the box set via online coupon. That's awesome. Very interesting. I had not heard that. Yeah, I have not seen the new one yet either, Dustin, but let's say people I trust, they've all said very good things. Nerd, glad you're here, man. I can't stop talking about Old Henry, and I want to thank you for being one of the good voices behind it. I appreciate that. Yeah, so this is coming out already available to pre-order, and if the Amazon price is off-putting for you, keep in mind it is showing up at like I think it was 150 right now, but it has that pre-order price guarantee. So by the release date, it will come way down. But beyond that, it is already available to order from other retailers as well. So like Deep Discount, it's available. Again, I don't really trust or support them that much. I've had orders canceled and stuff for quite some time. But it is already available there at like an $85 or $90 price tag, something like that. But you can also they always have like a 10% code out there. So you take 10% off and then that covers pretty much your shipping. And yeah, it's a lot cheaper there. But I guarantee you this is probably going to level out about $75, $80 everywhere, including Amazon by release date. But this is coming, what was that? February 1st, which is pretty quick. Just 4 more weeks and this will be in hand. I do like the cool limited packaging that they're going with here to have the trap box and all that. It would be nice if there was a larger component of the newer film to sort of transcend the generations, but it's a cool idea, and it's the studio doing it. So I mean, can't really complain there. We normally don't get anything. John says, "I wish I liked Ghostbusters that much. Cool set." I was the same growing up. I wasn't really hot on Ghostbusters, but as an adult, I found more in it, I guess, and, yeah, I appreciate it a lot more nowadays. By the way, not gonna spend too much time on this, but Monday night, I did a special live interview with Frank Zhang, who does a lot of the boutique contributions for Hong Kong cinema. He does a lot of commentaries. He helps collaborating on interviews with original people and actors, cast members, set design people, everybody that is over in Hong Kong, crew, anybody that he can get in touch with. He actually is one that does the logistics to help bring those together so that they can get more interviews on these box sets. And he was there and had just a wealth of knowledge. And if you go back and watch that, I think that there's a lot that you can get out of that. At the end, we did see a really good conversation on the newer China laws and how that might affect Hong Kong cinema. So if you're interested in hearing anything about that, again, Frank Zhang is brilliant, and it was a really interesting conversation. Jeff is asking about Nightmare Alley if anybody else has seen it. I have not seen it yet. I'm super interested in it, but I've heard that it is great, and a lot of people are even saying it's better than the original, which is it's pretty high esteem on that original film. All right, another Kino title that Flip, the co-host for Discovering Cinema, he texted me and said he is shocked that this is getting this sort of wonderful treatment from Kino, and I got to agree. Last of the Dogmen is coming from Kino, newly restored from a 4K scan of the OCN and color graded and approved by the director and cinematographer. This is getting a brand new audio commentary, and there's a booklet essay, newly commissioned art. This stars Tom Berenger and Barbara Hershey. And I don't think I've seen this one. This is from 1995, so I was probably just at that awkward age where I wasn't quite old enough to watch films like this. But yeah, I'm interested in checking it out. I'm not a huge Tom Berenger fan, but on the flip side, I adore Barbara Hershey. So I'm probably gonna have to watch this at some point. She is fantastic. Okay, the big announcements for this week, and I've had a lot of people ask my opinions on these, and all I will say is Severin, as you've probably seen in a few of my videos already, was my pick for the top label for all of 2021. I think that they did some incredible work. They put out some amazing titles. They did literally some of their best work of all time. They kept the sleaze heavy with stuff like A Scream in the Streets, and they did some amazing box sets. And I just so happen to have a bunch of stuff from them close, like the Andy Milligan box set, and they're jumping to 4K. They did great. Now these titles that are coming out in February, they don't really excite me that way. They're primarily just because of me. They're not really my style of film. If you watch the trailers, there's some very sleaze heavy things involved, but let's get into it a little bit. These are coming on February 22nd from Severin. First, we have Caligula, The Untold Story, a film by Joe D'Amato. This is presented in both the explicit Italian version and the US cut release, scanned in 2K from the OCN with depraved new special features. This includes the orgy of power, an interview with actor David Brandon, a false true story, an interview with screenwriter Luigi Montefiore, good old fashioned lover boy, an interview with actor Mark Shannon, deleted scenes, UK video trailer, and then a bonus CD soundtrack disc. This is going to be region free, available to pre order now in a dual pack with Caligula and Messalina. This is a film by notorious, very involved in the Severin catalog director Bruno Mattei. This one is from 1981 and contains Caligula, The Life Behind the Legend, an interview with Anthony A. Barrett, the author of Caligula, The Corruption of Power, has a trailer, and that's it for special features. We also have a CD soundtrack with this one, and this one is locked region A, but not a ton on this disc, surprisingly. This is an interesting one, but what's cool about this is, like I said, it comes in a double pack box set with a little Caligula coin that fits in the front. Yes, Ken, we did get confirmation of three new Kino. Where did that come from? Three new Hitchcock 4Ks coming this year. Waiting to see some actual information on those. Eric says, went to see Last of the Dogman in the theater when it came out, but the lenses were messed up. Interesting. Had to leave to complain and never ended up seeing it. Oh, that sucks. Mitchell says, derivatives of the most famous movie, but never seen them. Yes, of course. And there is, I believe, a third Caligula that we are not getting in this box set that supposedly is better than both of these. John says, love these, pre-ordering soon. Love the Roman coin that comes with the box set. It's a really interesting idea. I'll give them that, which Severin always has, and we're going to be seeing more of tonight, like I said. And then we did get some details on their release of Stone that I announced last week. This is going to feature an uncut 4K scan from the original Vault elements, supervised by the director shortly before his death. This will have an exclusive slipcover, The Making of Stone, archival 1973 Australian news magazine report on the production, featuring behind the scenes footage and interviews, deleted and extended scenes, Stone Forever, Richard Kuiper's classic 25th anniversary documentary, featuring interviews with the cast and crew, as well as footage from the 1998 celebration attended by 35,000 bikers. But then the real meat that is the best thing in this box, we have the Not Quite Hollywood extended interviews, and that's going to be a huge part of it. There's also makeup test, slideshow with commentary by the director, trailer, and then a bonus disc. Once again, they're including that CD soundtrack, which is awesome. This one, from what I remember, has pretty good music, and yeah, I think I want this one, but now I'm not sure if I want that package or not, because again, it's not that much to just get it all in one little fill swoop if you're planning on getting any of them. So I'm still considering it. All right, for now, moving on from Severin or clicking out like I always do at least once. But thankfully, we're on our last post of the week. One that we are not seeing talked about that much this year that I tried to talk up a little bit in my video that I posted, an hour and a half ago. Mondo Macabro. So Mondo Macabro is very consistent. They just only release like 12 titles a year in 3 or 4 drops, and that's fine. That's great. You have labels like Second Sight. They're only releasing like 12 titles a year, but they only do like one a month, so that gets them a little more press time. Mondo Macabro kind of flies under the radar. Now, this batch that is coming up, it is very exciting for me, I will say, because these all very much speak to my taste. So let's go over some of these. First off, we have Hotel Fear from 1978, and then we have from 1984 Strangler versus Strangler, a comedy of horrors, and then we have Apocalypse After, the films of Bertrand Mandico. And then this batch might include Jess Frango's The Other Side of the Mirror, but this one isn't confirmed yet. It is coming in 2022 for sure. Jared just doesn't know if this is coming in the first batch that is going to be up for pre order around March, or if this is going to be in the next one, which would, just by past guesses, it would probably be around May or June that they do another one. So Hotel Fear is directed. Let me go back to that cover while we talk about it. Directed by Francesco Barilli, is a unique combination of gothic fairy tale, violent giallo, and twisted psychodrama. First off, awesome. That sounds great. This film is set in rural Italy towards the end of World War II. A young girl played by Leonora Fani and her mother are running a hotel. When her mother dies suddenly, the girl finds herself at the mercy of the hotel's sex crazed guests, in particular, Rodolfo, played by Luke Miranda. The girl longs for her father to return from the war and save her, but what finally happens is entirely unexpected. Interesting. And then Strangler versus Strangler. This became a big cult hit in its native Serbia. Directed by the award winning Slobodan Sijan, one of his country's most successful filmmakers, Strangler versus Strangler was highly controversial for its mixture of crime, horror, and pitch black comedy. Sign me the hell up. That sounds fantastic. A deranged flower seller is strangling women on the streets of Belgrade. Their crime in his eyes being that they refuse to buy his carnations. A local new wave rock musician became obsessed with the case and releases a single dedicated to the Belgrade Strangler. Gradually, the two men find themselves drawn towards each other, leading to a very surprising climax. I mean, awesome. That sounds great. Did someone say Serbian films? That's hilarious. John says, I made a tweet supporting Mondo Macabro, and I even forgot the really cool It's Just a Game Mama. They had some really great releases this year for sure. Mitchell pre ordered Stone based on the Ozploitation doc. Nice. That's awesome. Okay, so Apocalypse After. Bertrand Mandico is one of world cinema's most visionary and original filmmakers. In 2017, his first feature, The Wild Boys, was released to great acclaim and was followed in 2021 by his second full length feature, After Blue. This disc contains 11 films by Bertrand Mandico, including Boro in the Box, Ultra Pulp, and Prehistoric Cabaret. So we've got those three titles, but 11 films. That is awesome. I'm really curious to see how they're going to put this out. We should be getting some details on this fairly soon. Jared usually starts sharing information on these as soon as he can, and the fact that we already have the titles, there's not going to be any reveals, so he can actually just reveal the extras, reveal everything in this, and share all the alternate art. Usually, these have at least two sets of art, and yeah, this sounds like a great batch from Mondo. Jeff says the guy in the cover reminds me of Peter Lorre. That must be this one. Nice. All right. That is it for announcements. Before we get too deep into this, let me share what we have coming out next week, which I've not looked at, but I don't think it's going to be a whole lot considering it is the first of the year. Let me pull up our calendar. All right. John says, I'm a big Serbian film fan. I own two tees and love the reaction I get wearing them. That is hilarious. John, we still need to talk about that disturbing film idea that we discussed. All right. Pulling up the release calendar is just about ready. Fortunately, when you're streaming, everything is slow. Let me share this video. All right. Man, I hate that Blu-ray.com added these ads in the bottom right corner. It slows everything down. I had it listed as December 2022, so it said no releases. But here's January. So the first real week is January 4th. We are getting some titles that I've been looking forward to for a while. So coming out next Tuesday, we have Rich and Strange, one of the Kino Hitchcock titles that they're putting out. I think my copy of this one just shipped from Target. Antlers is finally coming out. This one is coming out from Disney. It's still odd that we're getting titles like this because they're under Fox. Black Friday, the Bruce Campbell related film, is finally being released. Unfortunately, this one has not got great reviews, but I still have it on the way, and I'm curious to see how it goes. Then we got All My Sons. I believe that's also from Kino. Cinema of Discovery, the Julien Duvivier in the 1920s box, that is coming from Flicker Alley. Weathering with You, the 4K, is coming from Shout Factory. Shake Hands with the Devil and China are both coming out this week, as well as Golden Earrings and The Crime of the Century. An Ethan Hawke film called Zeros and Ones is coming out. Another Cohen film is coming out this week called Only the Animals. They don't put out a lot of stuff, so I'm curious about that one. The Djinn is coming out this week. This is a Shudder film, so I believe this is coming out from RLJE. The Naked Ape is Only Human. That is coming out from Code Red and Kino. And I don't think there is much else coming out this first week, unfortunately. We do pick up again on January 11th, though, with some big titles like Dune, Halloween Kills, and The Great Escape. But of course, we will save those to discuss for next Thursday. All right. Yeah, John, I've heard great things about the Djinn. I agree fully. Okay, so I got a handful of boxes in, but it was also Christmas week. So I wanted to share some of the things that the family got me for Christmas. And yeah, one of them is this really cool Hereditary shirt. I got a handful of new shirts, and I'm going to be showing those probably on stream over the next couple months. Which way does this face? This is down. Okay, so my wife just got this this week in for me. It came late, but fans of the show from previously in the year will remember we love Saw. We watched it, most of them in theaters on opening night together. She got me one of those every single frame canvas prints, and this is the canvas print for Saw. So it starts here and goes this way. This is the overall color tone average image for Saw. This is gonna get hung up for sure. I love this idea. Really curious how they do that. It's such an interesting idea. I got a few movies, nothing crazy. My kids supposedly just went on my wish list and picked random things that were on my Amazon wish list. So for my oldest, he got me the John Carpenter Fear is Just the Beginning, The Man in His Movies. Uh, I think this is a very short documentary. Yeah, it's like 60 minutes, and it's just some information on John Carpenter, stuff that most of us probably already know. My wife got me Mary and Max. This is I believe, a stop motion film, and I have been dying to see this again. I saw this like way back when it first came out, and I just have not watched it again since then. The cast in here: Tony Collette, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Barry Humphries, and Eric Bana. Because this is an Australian film, so everybody in this, I believe, is Australian, including one of my favorites, Tony Collette. Yeah, really good, semi-depressing film, but Mary and Max. My youngest kid for Christmas, this is what he picked out for my wish list. I believe this is a BDR, but this is Wolfman's Got Nards, the documentary on, of course, man, this is a really bad packaging. Documentary on the Monster Squad, but as you can see there, yeah, John, absolutely yes. They do some really good work. Jeff pre-ordered Dune. I got that Steelbook pre-ordered. I'm just really hoping that Best Buy doesn't mess it up. And then the last movie-related thing my wife got me is Criterion's release of The Damned. I'm curious to watch this. I've been wanting to see it for quite some time. I was stoked that this got a good release. The only thing, once again, no commentary. Just like in my video I posted today. My sister sent me a book for Christmas, and I love the way this looks. This is, damn, I might be a little too close to the camera. The Art of Pulp Horror. And I wanted to open this up and just show the type of things that they share in here. Let me find a good page. So this is a good one. They go over, oh, that's hard to see, a lot of the old print pulp horror. And they go to some really good detail too. You can see all the writing on there. And let's see. There's another good page with some recognizable artwork. There you go. Really cool looking book. And then I believe this was also from my sister, or no, actually, this might have been from my wife. I've been wanting to read this one for a while, but I got Slash of the Titans: The Road to Freddy versus Jason. This is supposed to be a pretty good book. And yeah, there is a lot of stuff in here. Okay, but now to the good stuff. I got a really delayed Diabolic order that I had ordered, oh gosh, months ago. This was like an April or May order, and they were waiting on one title to come in, and I have not even opened this yet. I popped the top, have not seen what's in here. Pulling them out now. Okay, so we have from Code Red, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Man, that is very glare heavy. This, I love mystery titles. I love like Sherlock Holmes stuff. So this is one that I wanted for a long time. I've got, finally, Fritz the Cat and the 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat. And then one that was really expensive on the secondhand market, Trick or Treats with a slipcover via Kino Lorber. That is awesome. I'm stoked we got this. If you don't know, this has, oh gosh, who is David Carradine is in this, and uh, John Barrymore's in here, and isn't there one other big name in here? I can't remember. The next one. Ken says, "Be sure to pick up the 14 film Sherlock Holmes set from MPI with Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. It's awesome." Interesting. I will take a look at that for sure. From Unearthed Films, the one we just talked about regarding their new holiday horror coming next year, I got Premutos. This is one that is supposedly extremely gory and very heavy on the practical effects. Just the kind of thing I love. And the picture at the top here should show exactly what type of movie that's going to be. But the big one in this first little pouch from Third Window Films, one of the most underappreciated companies in all of boutique cinema. They put out Toshiaki Toyota 2005 to 2021. It is a small box set, and in here we have disc one, we have Hanging Garden. Disc two has Monsters Club, Wolf's Calling, The Day of Destruction, and Go Seppuku Yourselves. And then disc three says it has 2012's I'm Flash. And there is some extras on here, like a commentary from Tom Mess, new interview with the director, making ofs, uh, commentary by Jasper Sharp, new interview with the director, and then an audio commentary by the director on one of the films. This is supposed to be great. I really want the first collection of his, the early years. I still don't have it. I'm on the lookout for that one for sure. If anybody has a lead on one, let me know, please. And then the other pouch, I think this is the one that was holding it up, or actually, it might have been that Toshiaki Toyota that was holding it up. I got in Jack Frost from MVD Rewind, just the first one. I pretty much just have to stay up to date on my MVD Rewind. I've got them all, and yeah, it would be silly to stop now. This is number 35 in their line. I finally have been waiting on this for a long time. Kolchak, the Night Stalker. I am so stoked that we got this. This has all 20 episodes, brand new, fully restored, and this has if I remember, yeah, 21 audio commentaries for all 20 episodes. This is such a beast of a release, and I can't wait to pop this in at all. I think this is, if I'm remembering right, it's 3 or 4 discs. Yeah, this is the exact kind of release that I love. Kino is getting a lot of love on this channel tonight. Next up is The Victim. I can't wait to see this. This got high praise from just the discs, and yeah, this is the exact type of movie I want. Yeah. Next, with Olivia de Havilland, The Screaming Woman, and then the other one that came out that same month, Scream Pretty Peggy with Betty Davis. Pretty much all of these have. Let me see. Yeah, they all do. They've all got new audio commentaries. They've all got slipcovers. Just nice releases again from Kino. They are killing it lately. And then the the seemingly rare one that came in that box, the Scream 4K Steelbook. This one was hard to find for a long time. Diabolic had it up, and of course, because they inspect everything before they ship it out, this is in perfect condition. So I'm so stoked to be able to watch this in 4K finally. Finally. All right. That is my Diabolic box. Let me put these back in there. I did have a random Amazon was having all kinds of sales this week. And if you follow me on Facebook or Twitter, I post a lot of the deals there primarily. One of them that had a really good coupon was the Karate Kid 4K 3 movie collection. And my wife has never seen any of these. So we've been talking about watching these. And yeah, definitely going to be putting at least the first one on for her and my kids here soon. Yeah, this went for like $32, $34, something like that. This was a really good price. Really good price. Those Amazon coupons have been crazy. I think some of them are still up. If you go check my Twitter or Facebook, like the Christopher Lee collection from Severin, it was up for less than, gosh, I think it was less than $75 or less than $70. Cheapest that's ever been by like a long shot. The Zatoichi box set, that is right over this shoulder. That one was on sale for cheap. Lone Wolf and Cub had a coupon. The Godzilla box, I think, temporarily had a coupon. That went away pretty quickly. A lot of these big sets had really nice coupons. What is this one? This is, I believe it was an Orbit order. Or no, actually, I think this is another Diabolic order. And I have so many old orders that just got filled. It makes it look like I'm getting everything, but I'm not, I promise. Armor of God from 88 Films. This is the main reason I had to buy these three films because I needed this one. And I can't wait to see this again. This is Jackie Chan's answer to like Indiana Jones and a couple styled films sort of like that around then until he got hurt. But yeah, Armor of God is great. And this is just a stacked release. I mean, look how thick that is. We got a nice box, nice movie in there. Here's the full hard case. Let's see. John is watching Scream next weekend. That's awesome. I'm really hoping I get to go to see that one in theaters. Really hoping so. Wouldn't mind seeing them release the Lizzie Borden movie from her. Agreed. That would be awesome. Speaking of Kino, got Burnt Offerings based on my recommendation. Hope you like it. That's a very interesting movie. Also, yeah, that first one was 88 Films. Also from them, Hatchet for the Honeymoon. This is one I've wanted for a long time, and I didn't love the Kino release, so I never got it. But this is a Bava title, and this has rigid slipcase, blah blah blah, 40-page book with new writing on the film, remastered HD transfer from the 35 inner negative, audio commentary with Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson, two of the best in the business, and interview with renowned director Lamberto Bava, working with the master, an interview with assistant cameraman, Hatchet for Dagmar, interview with Dagmar Lassender, interview with Dr. Mises Stigliger, the original trailer, all kinds of stuff on here. This is going to be a great release. I am stoked that they put this out. Eric has watched 266 movies this year and purchased close to 600 items. This is a problem. No, it's not, because you won't be able to keep that up, and then you'll have tons of stuff to watch, and it'll be a good day. Last in this small box is one from my second favorite label of all of 2021. I have their release of Swallow finally, and I love this movie. This movie is really good. The ending sort of let me down on first watch, but I really want to watch it again. See if now that I know how it goes and what to expect of it a bit more, if that feels a little more natural this time. I guess it's a good sign when a movie ends and I feel like it could have been better served with another 10 or 15 minutes on the end. This one is just a beautiful watch. It is genuinely filmed in such a way that I just found it striking. Everything about it was cinematography wise way above and beyond what it needed to be, but it makes sense in the expression of the type of thing that they're talking about. For those that don't know, in Swallow, the woman in this picture, she has what is called, I think it's pronounced pica or pica. I think it's pica, where she has the compulsion to put non-food items in her mouth and eat them. And it is something where things that don't look appealing to you look appealing. And this is something that the movie itself just looks appealing in every single shot. It is really beautifully filmed. If you're interested in it and maybe you're not region free, Shout Factory also put it out, but this is fantastic. New audio commentary by the director on here, a personal story, new interview with Carlo Mirabella Davis, new interview with Molly Asher, a new interview with the editor, new interview with the composer, all kinds of stuff on here. There's also a short film by the director, and yeah, as usual, got a really nice box and some art cards. Was that the director's first film? I think it was. I don't. Let me look it up. I think that they had also put out, like this alluded to, some short films. This one is that it has on here is called Knife Point, but I do think it was their first feature film. Let me pull it up here. And Haley Bennett is just incredible in here. Yes, the director is Carlo Mirabella Davis, and Yes, everything before this was a short. He co-directed the Swell season in 2011, but this is the first one that he directed on his own. And what kind of stinks to not see here is it appears as if there's nothing in the works, although that's probably just because IMDb is not aware of it. But yes, this is one to watch if you have not seen it. It is surprisingly well done. It is such a great movie. All right, I've got Severin left, and I've got a Kino sale left. I'm thinking of saving one for its own video. So I've already said I would do Severin. I'm going to open the All the Haunts Be Ours bundle. And first, I wanted to show. I'm sure most of you remember. I'm not a small person. I'm 6'5" and weigh a lot. And this is the size of the box relative to me. Look at this. Just Jesus. This thing is huge. I did get the bundle, so that's why it's so big. But very cool that there is custom artwork on there. And let's pop this open. This is unwieldy. Enjoy the packing peanuts. I don't think this has packing peanuts. I think it has hay. Oh, it has packing peanuts. Jesus Christ, they're everywhere. Shit. Oh, damn it. I thought this had hay. What the fuck? Oh, God. Okay. I saved one from my lap. Oh, God. That was perfect comedic timing, Mitchell. I love that. Oh. Good Lord. Let me see if I can show this without making it spill. Jesus. This is crazy. It is so full. All right. Because it's so big, I'm going to have. That's what she. Anyways, let me move my drinks out of the way and try not to drop that book on the floor and pull some of these things. Jeez. All right. So first thing I came across is some stickers. Wow, these are really nice, like surprisingly nice. So here is. Let's see if I can get that one focused in properly. That's really cool. And then this one. Come on, focus. And then this one, I really like this one. There's some focus. Good. All right. Yeah, these are surprising. Dang it. Packing peanuts everywhere. Surprisingly nice stickers. The lid just went, and there are packing peanuts everywhere. You know what? Fuck it. There they go. Okay, I found a poster tube. Inside, rolled poster. I believe this is. I hope that was audible with how many just fell on the ground. Jesus. Severin does need to go green here. I think I've heard that these are the water soluble packing peanuts. Yes, this is the poster for the documentary Woodland Dark and Days Bewitched. This is really nice. God, I love that art. Okay. Let's see if I can wrap this up. I guess I'm just going to be spending some time after the stream making these nice again, so I'll kind of get this shit together. But secondly, oh yeah, that'll be easy one to put away. This is crazy. If there are any specific questions on this set, let me know. I don't mind showing specific things. I also don't mind pulling up the Severin site and going over it again. I know a lot of people that ordered them have gotten theirs, but I also know a lot of people are still waiting to decide if they want it, and it appears it's going to be available for a long time. There is a retail version coming out. They have not stated that it's going out of print on their site or anything yet. So there appears to be a larger print run than a lot of us had kind of anticipated, at least as far as how many they're going to be putting out of the entire box set. So yeah, this is a very interesting set. Come on. All right, trying to get this undamaged back in there. There we go. I'll put the lid on that later. Okay. See if I can lift some of this up. Whew. All right, what else we got? We have, oh, why am I even trying? They're everywhere. Okay, so we have Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched Folk Horror Oracle deck of 20 cards. John, I agree that it is probably going to be the physical media release of the year, potentially decade. But a lot of people are not fully sold on the genre, I think, which is an interesting take. That's what I've been reading in some of these comments. A lot of people are also waiting on a potential sale if it's just going to be available for a while because it is sort of pricey. But there's so much content. I don't really see it as pricey at all. So I got this box open. There's also, wow, this is really nicely made. Also, Severin logo and some writing on the back side of this. And it says, unearth your own secret wisdom with this mini oracle deck meant to eliminate your pathway through awful forms and forgotten horrors. Unlike tarot, an oracle deck is a highly individualized divination tool that draws out personal interpretation and reflection. Interesting. And on the inside, we have the little guidebook that shows you how to use the cards, and then the actual cards. And I'll just show this first example of one here. This is covered by glare, of course. There we go. The Angel from Penda's Fen. Man, this is just so wonderfully put together. Hard to stress how nice it is. All right, next up in here, John says it's a history class in folk horror. This thing is a key reason why physical media can be valuable over streaming. Oh, very, very clearly agree here. These damn packing peanuts. All right, next up. Something with no indication on why it's related to fucking anything in this box set. This plate. It's pretty. I believe it is from one of the releases. I just don't remember which one yet. All right, is that all that? Man. Okay, I just found this little baggie here. And it has, that's going to be impossible to show properly, has the keychain. This is the mask. And obviously with that on the end, how can this ever truly be used as a keychain? Interesting. It is from a folk horror movie not in the set. Wonderful. Awesome. I don't remember that part of that. Not in the set. All right. Interesting choice. At this point, I'm literally just pushing peanuts on the ground because there's so many. I wonder if anything else has fallen down there. Jesus. Okay. Oh. Interesting setup. Okay, so this is the part that I was literally most looking forward to with this set, and that is a map of folk horror. I genuinely cannot wait to frame this and put this up. Folk horror in the director of the doc liked the plate idea. That all right, interesting. Folk horror in film and television evolved in the mid 1960s, yet its roots go far deeper. This map leads the reader to 36 locations where films are set or staged, including the genre's classics Witchfinder General, Blood on Satan's Claw, and The Wicker Man, as well as lesser-known television plays, Doctor Who episodes, and modern interpretations such as Midsummer. From Scotland to Serbia, here are rural hamlets and villages, lonely churches and graveyards, and Neolithic sites. Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched offers a glimpse into a strange parallel world. Dare you enter? This is awesome. Really nice art. Love that. And then here's the back so you can see what I just read. And then all of the information available. Man, out of focus. Come on. All right, opening this up. It is a little envelope style on the back. Came with a little postcard. There is the interesting art. Then the actual map. Wow. This is such a wonderful piece. Just looking at this, I mean, printed with all of these words on here. All right. There is so much information on here. Hard to state how cool this is. And then every single one has quite a write-up about the movie, where it's based, the actual GPS coordinates, and some just random information, not to mention, of course, the country where it is. This is really cool. There's also an introduction on here. But yeah, the details on this map. Let's see if I can share some of this up close. There's the map. Really neat touches. The art on this is beautiful. And unlike other maps, that folded up very easily. Stendhal says, looking forward to watching Leptrika in HD. I've seen it a while ago on a blurry YouTube video that's been up forever. Many of these are things that I've been dying to see in HD, and it's time. And this, I've been talking, on the other show, Discovering Cinema with Flip. I've been talking about how some of these releases are literally like film school, and this is just purely one of those releases. You can learn everything about an entire genre here. What location in Doctor Who did it mention? Yes, but I just put it away. It is there. At the end, I will open it back up just for you, Mitchell, because you're amazing. I'm guessing this is mainly a European genre. Not necessarily, no. This is very heavy from everywhere. I think there's one or two from New Zealand and Australia in here. There's Canadian folk horror. There's U.S. folk horror. There's all kinds of releases from all over the place. A lot of them are set in Europe, yes. So it is a very Europe heavy, at least set design for a lot of it, but no, not mainly a European genre. Just I guess maybe it is a. Wow, yes, Eric, that was the name. I did just read it. That is correct. The Demons. Whew, this is very heavy. I don't remember what this is, but this is heavy. All right, pulling some tape off the back of the plastic. It was probably Stones of Blood. I didn't see Stones of Blood, but it was The Demons. I did see the word The Demons on there. I feel like it said episode 5, but it might have been just number 5 of the locations. God, this is shockingly heavy. Whew. Wow. This is really nice. This is one of the pendant necklaces, and it is high quality. It is very high quality. It's wrapped in plastic so it doesn't get scratched in transit, but it is like metal. It is very heavy. Interesting. All right. So many packing peanuts. Jesus. All right, the entire box just almost fell, so I'm just going to throw it down. Damn it. Okay, so the book and the box set are all that is left. First up is the book, wonderfully wrapped in bubble wrap. The book is Of Mud and Flame, the Penda's Fen source book. This is the movie that I think I am, other than the doc, most looking forward to in this entire package. And I mean, yeah, this is very dense reading, as I'll be able to show in just a second. Full of words. How does it feel holding in my hand that pendant? It feels. I mean, obviously, it's like fake. You can tell it's something like that, but it feels kind of genuine, like something that you would expect this to look like, and it man, it is so much heavier. Like that's a little different. Um, let me see here. That's actually pretty comparable. So a lot of people on here are collectors of Vinegar Syndrome and Severin. This whole necklace and pendant kind of feels like it weighs about the same as the Homegrown Horrors box set, and actually, it probably weighs just a little bit more. I usually have a scale in here, but it happens to be upstairs at the moment. But it is very heavy. The actual metal on here, let me see if I can get this to focus. It is like genuinely ornate. Like you can feel all of the bumps on here as being very real. Everything is like actually debossed on the front there. It's not like printed on here. It is very much just a wonderful, wonderful item. Hard to overstate how nice this is. So the book. This is in 1974. The BBC broadcast the film Penda's Fen, leaving audiences mystified and spellbound. Make no mistake, we had a major work of television last night. The Times declared the next morning. This is written by the playwright and classicist David Rudkin. The film follows, or sorry, this is not. The film was. The film follows Stephen, an 18-year-old boy whose identity, sexuality, and suffocating nationalism unraveled through a series of strange visions. After its original broadcast, Penda's Fen vanished into mythic status with only a single rebroadcast in 1990, sustaining its cult following. Penda's Fen has now become totemic for those interested in Britain's deep history, folklore, and landscape. Of Mud and Flame, this book includes insightful essays by scholars across a range of disciplines, including television history, literature, theater, and medieval studies. It also contains a wealth of creative contributions from contemporary writers and poets inspired by this unique cornerstone of Britain's uncanny archive, as well as recollections from actors Spencer Banks and Christopher Douglas, and reflections from, there's a sticker. Jeff, have a good night, man. Yeah, I can see why the shipping was so high as well. The priority mail shipping in the US has gotten ridiculous. I sent my sister, I don't want to tear the sticker off. It's just the barcode, but can't quite read through it when it's covering up that bottom corner there. Uh, let's see. Reflections from Rudkin on If They, with this breadth of commentary, Mud and Flame also includes the full revised something for the first time in print since 1975. This is, oh, you know what it probably is? That last part, it says probably includes the full revised script for the first time in print since 1975, because let me go to page 1 here. We have the script. The entire script is this whole back portion, which is really neat. This is an awesome book. I can't wait to breeze through some of these. Imagine the mailman with this box. Okay, here it is. This is the big boy, and it is a big boy. Let me see. So that Homegrown Horrors box set that I just showed, it is around, how do I show that? Okay, just a little bit thicker than that, but as you can see from the side, let me get that plastic off so it's easier to see. This box is not nearly as thick as the Vinegar Syndrome box. Here is the box by itself. Man, this is a I hate to speak like this because it feels so hyperbolic, but this is beautiful. Like the metallic print, the shine there is so over the top. And I am so stoked that I got this, and I feel so fortunate to be able to hold this. This, like John alluded to earlier, I think this is the peak of physical media, genuinely. I just can't wait to dive into these. Oh man. So here is Severin Films presents All the Haunts Be Ours book that came in the box set. And it is, wow, there is so much in there. This is almost just under 160 pages in this book. And it's so nice. Isn't it so sexy in your hands? Now you know why I tweeted what I did yesterday. Amen to that. Tom has a good point here. For anyone interested in folk horror, Orbit has a great book with info on many, if not all, of these titles. It's called "We Don't Go Back: A Watcher's Guide to Folk Horror." That is in my current I need to get that my next order from Orbit list. But just from this box set, here is the beauty. This is the inside art for All the Haunts Be Ours. There's Stonehenge on the front, and then on the back we have the bird in the tree. Here is the nice spine of this. And on the inside, if you were wondering and have not seen any other unboxings, they are very similar to some of the other Severin cardboard sleeve releases, just like Milligan, just like Al Adamson. And this is what it looks like. Eyes of Fire is going to be a great one. There's Leptirica. V. I didn't even have to see it because V is so great. There's Witchhammer also on this side. Man, this is ridiculous. I believe the extras for all these are printed in the book. Oh, it is, John. I agree. It feels much more durable than Milligan. So, starting on page 132 in this book. Don't know why I said box. We have the films. So as you can see with this example here, this is for the movie Allison's Birthday. We have a list with a synopsis of the film, and then all of the extras that are on that disc right below it. This is beautiful. It is crazy. Flickering, I'm trying to remember where it is, but I think the dock itself is available to rent or stream. And the dock itself is going to go way deeper into a lot more of these films. If you're interested in these, there are so many other films, and not only modern films like Midsummer, but there are so many others from previous years that you can find and rent or stream if you are, a member of any streaming service. I think Tubi had some that you can find if this is going to be the right genre for you. It is a very spiritual genre, so it's one that does a lot of traditions, basically. And yes, it is. Yeah, this is a beautiful one. And yes, just like Mitchell just pointed out, I wanted to show Allison's Birthday and the pendant right next to each other. That is fantastic. Yeah, Wicker Man flickering, that would be a good one to watch first because that's not in here either. Witchfinder General is also not in here, and those are two of the big ones that are not a part of this box set, but is probably something that you could find if you like the genre itself or not. Putting it back together. Again, there is the front with the box available and visible. Man, that is peak, genuinely. I mean, even when the stickers are that high quality, that's fantastic. The Nick Cage remake Wicker Man, not the bees, please. Wow. Anything specific anybody wants to see from there before I close it up or have any questions? Need to see if I can get this poster all the way back in here now, because this is one I might want to hang. I might just open my Kino sale. Yeah, fully. I had already said multiple times, and if you watch the video that I put out this evening on the labels and how they performed this year, Severin is my favorite label of the year. They have some problems with their website still being trash, and I'm not going to stand up for that. I'm not going to say that they don't have a problem or that they're perfect, because every single label has some issues for sure. But Severin has reached a level that they years ago could only dream of. Man, that did not work. I need to roll that even tighter. Crazy. All right, got a question. Could you look in detail of the Serbian short films that came with Leptirica? Absolutely. Let me pull out the book again and pull up Leptirica. And Leptirica is on page 144 in the book. 144. So here is the page that I'm going to be reading from, Leptirica. And it says, based loosely, that's the synopsis. Special features: radical fairy tales, an interview with the director, looks like Georgi Kadijevich, plus bonus short films newly remastered in HD from archival film elements at Public Service Media Radio Television of Serbia. And then they are, I don't know how to pronounce this or if I'm pronouncing it right, but Stečenik from 1973. This one is 45 minutes. It is by the same director. A terrified young man is being pursued by a mysterious man in black. He hides out in a nearby mental hospital, but can he escape his fate? What a place to hide. Diary of an Inmate, interview with Stečenik actor Milan Mihailovic, that's 10 minutes long. Wait a minute. This box set is that amazing that we got a bonus short film and we have extras for the bonus short film? That is crazy. And then another short film. This one is by the same director, Jevachanska Svirka from 1973, 60 minutes long. A man traveling through the countryside is drawn to a strange castle which is reputed by the locals to be haunted. There he meets a beguiling young woman who sorry, the white print is a little odd on here. A beguiling young woman who ensnares him in her world of secrets. And then Prisoner of Song, interview with the actor Goran Sultanovic in there. And I think that is it. Which, by all means, that's another 2 hours basically of short films alone. Not to mention extras for both of those short films. This is ridiculous. Severin is A graded from John. I don't even care about the website. They ruled my pocketbook this year. I agree. I don't really it's got to be mentioned just because they're not perfect. But yeah, it's not something that keeps me from them by any means. There should be a card in your sale order, as was in mine. They are the best at this point. When I open that, yes, I'm hoping to find that card. Each disc has movie extra shorts, short extras. I'm telling you, Ryan, it's peak. I'm overwhelmed. I thought I knew what to expect when we first got the announcement, but this seems like so beyond over the top what it was. I noticed that there are a few short films off the main ones. The set is impressive. Thanks for reading that. Of course. And again, that is just on that disc. And if I remember right, John, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't there 17 discs in here? 3 of them are CDs, but I think it's 17. I'm sorry. I might be wrong here. It says disc 15. So maybe it's 17 films, 15 discs. And it looks like there are three CDs. We have The White People, that's disc 14. And then The White People Part 2 is disc 15. And then the soundtrack for the documentary, that was disc number 13. But man, oh man, this is ridiculous. Above and beyond. This is This is amazing. A Field in England. We were talking about ones that you might be able to stream. That one is one that you might be able to stream. Dark Waters is one that Severin had put out previously, and this disc in here has less extras than the standalone Severin Dark Waters disc. They were unable to get some of those, again, licensed, but yes, that is also in here. We have Il Demonio, Loki, a manuscript of Professor Wittenbach, Wilchiska, Celia, Allison's Birthday, The Dreaming, Kadisha, Lake of the Dead, Tilbury, Witchhammer, V. By the way, V is available, and that came from Severin previously, and then also V came out from Eureka, and the V release from Eureka actually has more extras than what you will find on here. So if you really love V, there is, I think it's the director of V, his very first film is on that Eureka release, and the Eureka release is fantastic. John says Field in England is on Tubi. Disc 3 is Leptirica. Disc 2 is Eyes of Fire. And then disc 1 is the documentary Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched, A History of Folk Horror. Now, one thing I do want to point out on this box set that really impresses me beyond all of the content. I, just like John just brought up, better than Shaw, Don't Tell Flip, Shawscope just came out, and it has less films than this release. And yet it is the size of like 3 of these. The fact that this can sit on my shelf with all of my movies and not take up a massive amount of shelf space is huge to me as a collector. I love the size of this thing. I love that I can set this in with all of the other beautiful Severin box sets, and this can just be something that is here ready to go. And not to mention the colors here, just going to be eye-catching and make you want to watch it again and again. At least it gives you the reason to keep the couple releases that have already been made separately. That's true. And again, I think that they would have included everything they could have. I just don't think they could. The attention to detail and globetrotting that the overview of the box has suggested is making this a compelling purchase. That was the most surprising thing to me because when I think of folk horror, same as was asked earlier in the chat, I personally jump to this likely is just going to be Europe, like all around Europe. They say history of folk horror, but it's just going to be Europe. Um, I, I'm not Flip like from our other channel, Discovering Cinema. I don't have the vast array of Asian cinema, but I do. I just mentioned you like 9 times, buddy. Um, I don't have the flip knowledge of Asian cinema, unfortunately, but folk horror has a vast, uh, huge stranglehold on Asian cinema. There are so many Asian folk horror releases. One of the most compelling ones I watched recently because of Flip was the movie The Wailing. The Wailing was an incredible film, and it lies heavily in folk horror. And I really hope that we can have a second version of these eventually, and just keep coming out with something like this because this is remarkable. And from what I hear, according to what some people that have seen the documentary have said already, there are enough movies that if they could get the licenses for them, it could mean like 3 or 4 full box sets of this quality, which is wild to think of. And that's even assuming many of the ones that we could get are probably lost to masters. There's actually enough films out there that are related to folk horror that we could probably do 10 of these. But just on the on the conservative side, hoping that we could probably do 3 or 4 would be beautiful. But there's been no indication that we're going to get another version of this or anything. This is ridiculous. And yes, I agree. We still absolutely need the Black Emanuel set. I'm not arguing with that. 100%. But I mean, again, the quality just of these stickers, this ridiculous pendant, freaking huge, massive, weighty. Even like this feels a lot higher quality than I expected. I can't use that as a fucking keychain though, or I'd put a hole through my thigh. But it's here, and again, just highest quality things. This is such a beautiful set and absolutely deserves all of the praise under the sun because it's astounding. John, I did see your comment about getting my Black Friday order, and there's a reason I omitted my answer to that. You'll see it eventually. Dustin says he started watching the documentary a few days ago. It's fascinating and overwhelming. Great stuff. And speaking of fascinating and overwhelming, the first piece of advice I got regarding this box set was when you start it, have a notebook and pencil ready because you're going to want to take some notes of things to watch. The fire finger sticker would be a great tattoo idea, and it's so well done. It's so perfect for it. You can just take this and say, "I want this." And this actually looks like a perfect tramp stamp already. Man, oh man. Oh, and I totally forgot. Like, there's a fucking plate. There's a plate. This is this is crazy. Like, the bar is gonna be so high from this release that nobody is going to be able to keep up with this. But that's a good thing. It's gonna have these other excuse me, swallowed funny. It's gonna have these other companies have to reach for this level of thing to compel us because this is just overwhelmingly amazing. Is it plastic or ceramic? They had said that it was ceramic, but it's not. I thought they said that it was ceramic. I might be wrong. It says, oh, that's right. They said it was melamine. It is 100% melamine. So put it up by the microphone. You can hear that. So it's like one of those breakable plastics. Super nice. If anybody's wondering, it says top rack only in the dishwasher and microwave not recommended. Just if you were wanting to dishwash your brand new Severin plate. I didn't think I was ever going to have to talk about the dishwasher related to Severin merch, but here we are. Man, and yes, I don't think anybody touches this point at all. Severin is 100% the king of merch, and a lot of people think that it's gimmicky for some of the things, but I genuinely don't. I think that there are things like the anthropophagus plush doll is not a gimmick whatsoever. It is something that is taken from the film. It is awesome to have, and it is such a unique item that I guess in that sense it is gimmicky. It made me want to purchase it, and I think for a lot of people that some of these pieces, like the spider they did for the Horrors of Spider Island, it's so neat looking. The grizzly that they recreated, everybody looked at it and said, "This is goofy," but then you go back and look, and the original movie when it came out had a bear that looked just like that. It was a part of their marketing. It's amazing. I really wish some of these other companies would do stuff like this, and sadly, just because of the amount of time and energy and money it takes to do it, we are probably not going to get merch that is anywhere near this for most companies. Okay, finally got that back in the tube. I really need to hang more of my posters. I have so many to hang. Whew. Okay, it is going to be hard to follow that up. But I do have my Kino sale order that I'm also going to open for everybody. And then first, let's have a conversation before I talk about Kino. Especially because I just rolled the box away. So let me lead with the question while I reach my fat foot for that. Granted, most people have probably not watched my video that released an hour and a half ago, or 2.5 hours ago now. What is people's overall feeling of 2021 in this hobby? Boutique Blu-rays, boutique Blu-ray distributors, importing, limited edition, and not obviously not just Severin and box sets like this, but everything as a whole. We've been hearing physical media is going away for, I mean, like literally like 25 fucking years at this point. And it is hard to find things that are going to compete with this that have come out ever, especially for this hobby. But this is, I'm not going to say that it's the best year ever, but I think that we are at a true golden age of boutique physical media, movie-related collecting. I think that we've been saying that for a couple of years, and what's crazy is the bar keeps being raised. Um, 19 not 19, 2019 was a wonderful year, and when we were in that year, we were looking at like, "Man, it really can't get better than this." And then 2020 happened, and even though we were in a pandemic, it somehow outclassed it. And last December, like, most people that were in this hobby were talking and rating like, "This is the best it can possibly get." 2020 was amazing. We're even getting full discography of Al Adamson. How can you beat that? How can we get more niche than that? And then 2021 happened, and somehow we are above and beyond what we expected even after 2020 because it is amazing. So let's look at what some people are saying. John is saying 2021 was a banner year. My God, I couldn't keep up with great releases after great release. There are so damn many, and that's why I tried to do the show. There's so much that you can talk about fucking week after week, and not the pickups are fun and all that, but even just to talk about the movies, the things that are getting the attention, the announcements, the brand new extras that are leading people into these titles is overwhelming. Eric says, and this is probably the definition of this entire episode tonight. If my wallet is the gauge, physical media is at an all-time high because my wallet is at an all-time low. I'm going to add that bottom part. John agrees. Chris Ekanoya, am I saying your last name right? Because that's how I always read it when we message. He says it seems that physical media is not only not dying, but thriving. That said, companies are noticing that and jumping at the opportunity to raise the bar and up their game on releases. And unfortunately, it is hurting the wallet. That's true. That's very true. And uh, it's going to keep happening, I think, at least for another year or two. Justin Robbins says, "What was an incredible year this year? Quite a few releases of shit that we've only dreamed of." And that is true of so many things. And that's what's hard to envision here because we have 4K upgrades of incredible films. I mean, releases like this, that is literally one of my favorite releases of the year. And we have a full steelbook book, poster, art cards, hard box, 4K edition of True Romance, and tons of other releases that just were dreamed of, and they're really here. Ken Carlson says, I really hope Sony, Universal, Paramount step up their game with catalog 4K titles for next year. Not too impressed so far with Warner Brothers titles for 2022. Lost Boys, Casablanca better be coming. Maybe it hasn't been discussed, but I believe Lost Boys has been confirmed as a 2022 title. No press release on it yet, but I do believe that it is a part of the slate for 2022. Flickering says it is enjoyable but exhausting. I am equally interested in movies and music. However, the slate of movies and physical media past couple of years has knocked that balance off. I would agree there, and I've talked about on here so many times. I used to be involved in the music industry. I love it as well. And what's crazy is my love and overwhelming attention to this hobby has pretty much erased all of my music that I was doing. I obviously COVID is here, and that has decreased the amount of shows that I could go to or concerts. Um, Speaking of, I went to see Trans Siberian Orchestra last night. That was cool. Yeah, it was a good time. But I'm not, diving to listen to all of the brand new music. I'd rather listen to a movie podcast. I'd rather listen to the brand new Severin podcast. I'd rather while I'm at work pop in a Blu-ray and listen to a commentary. And that is just it is so much to shuffle through and try to learn everything from. And I think that's a part of it for me is it's a bit more rewarding than the music because not taking anything away from music, it can be affecting, it can be emotionally rewarding, but there's so much knowledge that you can glean from some of these films, from a 3.5 hour folk horror documentary, that it's so much more enticing to me. But isn't this just superb as film and physical media fans? Ugh, amazing. Agreed. Dave says, I am 2 years into collecting, so still pretty new to this, being very picky because of finances, but the choices available, wow. And that's the thing, you pretty much have to be picky Otherwise, it's bankruptcy. There are so many out there. I look like a fucking hypocrite saying that with this behind me. I sell a lot of stuff. I have a giant pile of stuff to sell that I've had trouble listing for like a week and a half just because of Christmas. Right behind the screen, I promise. This room is a mess right now. It is ridiculous. Mitchell has never bought as many films as I have this year, and I think I would agree. I might have bought more in 2020. I've had to be a little more conservative this year. There is so much out there. Physical media is going nowhere. I would agree to a point. I do think that there are some things that are going to dwindle down. Like I still don't understand how DVD outclasses Blu-ray and 4K sales. Yes, I understand they're $5 at Walmart, and that's where they're getting all the purchases. But I don't understand the logic behind it. Solid year, but not enough martial arts. Oh, come on, Flip. This was your year. Mob Cult says 2021 is the year I found my collecting niche, discovering Severin and BS, along with my all new favorite YouTubers like yourself. Oh, thank you. Super stoked to be a part of this community. We're glad to have you. Thanks for being here. I mean, it is a hobby in a year like this that brings the excitement. It makes people want to talk about it. Flip says, but seriously, we need more Chambara put out on Blu ray. We need more everything. Releases for newer movies are lacking, but boutique labels are kicking ass. And that's where I think there is a way to fill that out. I mean, there are things like this. This is a newer movie that got an incredible, brand new boutique release that is fucking amazing. I mean, again, just going to show look how thick this book is for a fairly new movie. This just came out a few years ago. And, Criterion's been doing that. Brand new, the Netflix films or Wes Anderson getting every movie because every movie of his is a masterpiece, I guess, put into the collection. Um, there are some labels that do some new ones, and that's nice. Yes, it is because I'm married, but yeah. Ken says, "Does it bother you? We're already double dipping on 4Ks such as original Karate Kid and now Ghostbusters with new Dolby Vision." Um, a little bit, but I'm also a quality snob, kind of, which is weird because I am a visual quality snob, but I don't have I don't have the luxury of being an audio quality snob. Although, if I could, I was going to be able to be an audio snob at some point, hopefully. But yeah, I love the upgrade in 4K visuals, and the big thing is the HDR that goes with it. I am a sucker for color and things like that. I've got colored lights on above me. I've got this little flickering rainbow over this shoulder right now. I've got my light bar underneath. I've got a tie dye shirt on. I love color. It is something I've always loved, and being able to see these peak, some of these like even newer films like John Wick in 4K looks amazing, and being able to see those and having it really feel worth that upgrade, it means something. So I'm really curious to see if the Ghostbusters set is worth the upgrade for that new Dolby Vision. Karate Kid, I'm lucky because I don't think I have that even on Blu-ray, so I at least skipped one generation there. But yeah, I mean, Halloween is a good example. It already got a studio 4K, and then it got a boutique 4K from Scream Factory. And is it an upgrade? Yeah. Am I sad that I bought it on 4K previously? Not really, because I watch it at least once or four times a year. It's worth it, to me at least. Nerd says, I go between video games and movies. I used to, but I don't know. Something recently. I can't sit down and play video games for hours because I'd rather just watch a movie. TSO Color Me Jealous. Yes, that was last night here in Kansas City. Great show. Felt really weird getting in a giant crowd of people. I think that was my first time being all up in bodies. Lady next to me coughed a few times, so made me feel awkward. She also was taking videos and had the sound on. Who has the sound on so that when you press the button, it goes put it real loud? Anyways, Eric says his mistake was starting to follow me and Flip. We are stoked to have you though. 4K Ed Wood movies when I would not be surprised to see it soon. And honestly, they would look really good, especially some of those earlier ones. Yeah, you do have to understand you can't buy everything. It is so many releases. Chris says, "My wife has noticed that UPS visited our front porch much more this year." Yeah, that's true. Great Silence got announced for 4K from Studio Canal, and it's pre-ordered by Ken. Yes, it is coming. I'm waiting for a better press release with more info on that one, but I hopefully will be posting it here soon. Yeah, it's legitimately been a banner year. There's so much that you can talk about. There are so many. I mean, I've not even finished my series yet, but I have a series called Boutique Labels That I Collect and So Should You, and I've done I think 6 of them, and every single one has at least 8 or 9 or 10 distributors in it. That is wild that there are that many to choose from. Absolutely crazy. I'm glad that we have them though. I'm glad that we have these releases. I'm glad you guys are here. It's been a really nice year getting to know everybody, and I'm stoked for it. An Evil Dead fan knows the joy and pains of buying for every new format or for buying in every format 3 or 4 different times. I still have not gotten that brand new Evil Dead 1, 2, and Ash versus Evil Dead set, and I'm proud of myself for holding out as long as I could. Uh, he says as he looks over at Evil Dead 1 and 2 steelbooks and thinking he still wants it. Skolder, what's going on? Glad to see you. Stendhal, do you think Severin is going to release a UA Bowl complete Masterworks filmography box set in 4K? I do not. Absolutely do not. Flip is not excited for the 4K of Great Silence. There's only one 35 millimeter in existence, and it already looks as good as it possibly could look. I disagree there. I think Django kind of proved to us that it can pretty much always look better. John says, "Got to finish work. See you online. I'm sure tomorrow. Of course, I will absolutely be there." RoboCop fans, yes, there is more coming. Yeah, I knew you were kidding, Stendhal, but I mean, somebody should at least one or two of them. But going back to this, genuinely, I do think that the Great Silence will look absolutely better in 4K if they do it right. That is the big question, and unfortunately, it's coming from Studio Canal, and I think it was Jeff K asked in my premiere of that video tonight if I had listed Studio Canal. One of the main reasons I didn't is because Studio Canal has had some encoding problems this year, and some of their 4Ks, they're good, but they're not quite great. And I think that I mean, obviously, if a company like Blue Underground or Vinegar Syndrome had it, it would look leagues and leagues better than did. But even a company like Kino, I think, could have done better with some of these. There are some releases from Studio Canal that definitely could have been just a lot better than they were. And that's the hard part with these double dipping. Like I mentioned, Halloween, the first release in 4K, it just wasn't done right. And now we have a brand new release that is looking better. The Scream Factory release made it worth the purchase. What time will I be on tomorrow? I have not decided if I'm going to stream tomorrow. I think it kind of depends on if my wife is going to fall asleep. To be honest, because it's been a rough year between the two of us, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away or not. Um, on that front, I do want to mention for anybody that is a fan of Vinegar Syndrome, tomorrow night at 12:01 midnight East Coast time. So where I am, it'll be 11:01. They are putting up a whole bunch, like way too many releases for sale. We're going to have a new VSP, a new VSA, a new Picorama, their entire January slate from Vinegar Syndrome, all of their partner labels, and all of those together is going to come out to like 18 releases, I think. But they are also putting up a whole bunch of out of print titles that they found while they were moving stuff in their warehouse. So they have some copies of the Amityville Horror box set that they're putting up that sold out forever ago. They have some out of print VSAs, and they have some other things that they are throwing up there. So if you are interested in those, I'm not exaggerating here at all. If you want those, be on there at 12:01 because they will sell out within the first 2 minutes, undoubtedly. The Amityville Horror one, especially, will probably be gone in about 30 seconds. Usually, they only have for something like this, probably 10 or 15 of the Amityville. Some of the VSAs, it sounds like they might have more, but they will likely be gone super fast. So jump on there, midnight Eastern tomorrow night. I might be streaming live. If I do, it'll probably be around 11:30 Eastern, which would be 10:30 Central. Let's see. How bad was the miscolor on Flesh for Frankenstein 4K? Did I watch it yet? I did not watch the whole movie yet because I'm waiting for that update, but it looks bad. I mean, you can see I have rosacea, so I'm always pink or red or whatever. Um, I I looked at it and everybody was blown out red like this for everybody. Everything that was red, orange, yellow was overtly red, orange, and yellow, and everything else was drowned out. Will we ever see a day when we have a Roland Emmerich End of the World collection? I hope so. I'd like to think so. Lissa, is that Amityville set worth trying to get? This might be an odd answer, but 100% yes. I think that the Vinegar Syndrome Amityville collection is way better than the first few Amityville horrors that are in the Screen. I can't reach it right. Show it. The Scream Factory box set. I think the Vinegar Syndrome ones are much more of the entertaining type. It is such a weird and odd franchise. If you do follow the Amityville, I I guess I should just call it the Amityville franchise because it's not the Amityville horror because there are so many things. But there are at this point, I think it's like 32 Amityville movies. That's crazy. There's even one called the Amityville Vibrator. Have that on DVD. The director's about to put it on Blu-ray, and I can't wait to buy it again. Um, any of those out of print titles that you can recommend? Yes. The list is 1 second. Pull it up here. And of course, I'm misspelling syndrome. Ring in the new year with Vinegar Syndrome, and they are showing that they are going to have Savage Harbor, Savage Dawn, LA Wars, Hellriders, Action USA, Martial Law 1 and 2, The House of Usher, Dr. Jekyll's Dungeon of Death, Spellcaster, and Necromancer. Eric, what's going on? Feel like it's been a while since I saw you. I will do my best, nerd. I promise. Let's see. Going back to that list. So Savage Harbor, Savage Dawn, I'm cool on. I don't think that those are something that you should grab first necessarily. However, LA Wars, fantastic movie. It is out. That was or no, I'm thinking of Action USA. Sorry. Action USA is also coming back, but Action USA has a release from MVD Rewind as well. So if you don't get that, not a giant deal. You can still get that film through MVD Rewind, but if you really want the VSA, this is the place to go rather than I think that one's going for like $80 on eBay. LA Wars, great one. Hellriders is it's a very divisive title. I kind of hesitate to recommend that one. Martial Law 1 and 2 though, absolutely recommend that one. That one is a really good collection. And in fact, excuse me, I've been talking for a long time without drinking. Any of the VSAs that are collections, always try to jump on those. So like the Martial Law 1 and 2, the brand new one we just got, uh, Tiger Claws. That's a good one to get. It's really good deal for the money. Martial Law 1 and 2, the if you ever get a chance, the what is the other trilogy that we have? Why can't I think of it right now? I am blanking. Somebody else. Oh, Vice Academy. That's the other one. If you ever get a chance at the Vice Academy one, jump on that. Absolutely. That's not on the list here, unfortunately. But yes, LA Wars is great. Justin says it's might be his favorite VSA. It is genuinely a really good movie. And I will say Action USA really is as well. It is it's just like the title. It's very action heavy. But if you really want the Amityville collection and you don't want to spend top dollar on it, you don't necessarily have to get it tomorrow night. All of the movies are still available. The only thing that is different about buying them from Vinegar Syndrome, uh, back then when it was first released as opposed to now, is that giant box. So the Amityville box is going to come in a hard box like this, but if you get the new set, those come in single. I think for the Amityville set, they all came in single movie releases. It's not like the Forgotten Jolly where it's still a collection. Um, There's also going to be fresh merch for New York Ninja, and so going over what January is going to be. Forgotten Jolly, a brand new collection. Dead Heat in 4K. Nobody asked for that, but we're getting it. Curfew and Master of the World on Blue for the first time ever. And then they're also unveiling their next VSA, and they say it's easily the goriest one to date, which is interesting, especially because not many of the other VSAs are gory, so not a huge high bar. Along with our first Peakorama of 2022, which gathers two early efforts from the incomparable Roberta Finley. And then don't forget, if you were a completionist subscriber in 2021, you are getting that Roberta Finley title for free because it was supposed to come in November and it got delayed. So you won't have to purchase that one. Uh, Plus, we'll be unleashing our third VSP to go with this one and Vinegar Syndrome, the first VSP New York Ninja. So if you want the third one, that'll be available. And 11 of our partner labels have prepared a delectable selection of new releases, ranging from rare horror to classic exploitation to must see art house. It is going to be a wild night tomorrow night. There are so many things going on sale. Crazy. Any other Vinegar Syndrome questions or discussion points? Or should I open up Kino? I guess we're going into Kino. Did we talk about Severin's Caligula announcements yet? Yes, we did. That was earlier. Uh, I'm sort of cool on them. It's not really my thing, but a lot of people are very excited. The only thing I'm really stoked on is I love the way they're releasing them in that double box. They One of them has extras. One of them only has, I think, a commentary. I think it was a commentary, but yeah, could be a little better. I think not really my style of film overall. But I'm just, yeah, I'm curious. I might pre-order them. Either that or wait for a sale. I really don't want that bundle to go out. That's a big question for me. I love that box, so we'll see. I don't know why I'm such a whore for packaging, but it helps. It absolutely helps. And really, for the Caligula titles, watch the trailers because it gives you they are classic Severin sleazy for these titles. So if it's something that might appear to be a little off-putting for you, you might want to hold off. The trailers will help a lot. There's like puking involved. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, I will pick up my Kino box here, and some of these titles I picked up because when we went over the sale together, and this was in, gosh, was this December that they had the sale? I think so. Yeah, because it was the winter sale. That's right. Um, I went back after we streamed and we all talked about it together in one of these videos, and I went and took a look at what we talked about and made some decisions on what I wanted based on some of your recommendations. So I got the first pile out of here, and the first one I got is one that somebody on the stream recommended. That is Love Rights. This is a Borowick title. I think that's how you say the last name. Um, Arrow had put out a lot of their titles, and she's the one that did the Beast. I think it's a female. I may be wrong there. Oh no, it is a male. Sorry, it is a male director. He returns with a vengeance to a signature theme, emasculation. This is one that sounded really good. Glad you guys said that. What else we got here? Another one that was recommended, Variety. This one sounded freaking amazing. I cannot wait to watch this one. So to go into this one real quick, it is a landmark independent film that challenges common notions about feminism and pornography, which Kino Classics is proudly presenting in a director-approved 2K restoration from the OCN. It follows Christine, a desperately unemployed young woman who lands a job selling tickets at a porn theater, where she finds herself drawn to events on the screen, which complicates her relationship with boyfriend Mark. Fascination becomes fixation as she follows a dangerous looking patron through Times Square's sleazy sex shops to the moneyed world of lower Manhattan. This female taxi driver, gritty, disturbing, and explosive, remains a striking study of female desire and sexual identity and the silent, invisible walls that exist between men and women. This thing Sounds amazing. Let's see. Dave says, as far as packaging goes, we've become very spoiled. Ain't that the truth? Could not agree more with a single comment in a long time. That is very well put. Eric says, I totally agree. I'm surprised at how often I get turned off for a title for just not having a slipcover. True, true, true. Get rid of that slip. I had to get, because I didn't have yet, from Redemption, Jess Franco's The Sadistic Baron von Klaus. And then a Jean Roland I did not have yet, Two Orphan Vampires. And a lot of these do not go on sale very often, so I had to get some of them. A classic that I was just listening to a podcast on today, coincidentally, because the Colors of the Dark podcast, the Rebecca McKendry and Elric Kane, who used to be on Shockwaves, they were talking about Elric Kane watching this on the big screen in the longest running silent film theater in the world, which is in Australia. I picked up the Golem and really, really excited to see this, especially after they talked about it today. I got a question for everyone about slipcovers. Did anyone get black candles with a slip? Did that one come with a slip? Let me look at my note that I put all of the Black Friday order in and see what I have listed for Severin. Black candles. No, it's just a special edition Blu-ray. No slip for black candles. And I know that because the other ones, like House on the Edge of the Park, I have written here 3-disc Blu-ray with slipcover. Night of the Demon, 2-disc Blu-ray with slipcover. Black Candles, special edition Blu-ray. Bloody Pit of Horror, Blu-ray with slipcover. Ballad and Blood, Blu-ray with slipcover. Forbidden Door, Halfway House, both did not have one. So yes, no slip on Black Candles, which is interesting because it's such a well-known title. I'm kind of surprised that one didn't get one. Next up, this is one that I think Sardis, although I don't think Sardis is on the stream tonight. I had to pick up Jazz on a Summer's Day. This is filmed at the 1958 Newport Jazz Festival in Rhode Island and directed by world renowned photographer Bert Stern. It features intimate performances by an all star lineup of musical legends, including Louis Armstrong, Thelonious Monk, Gary Mulligan, Anita O'Day, Chuck Berry, Dina Washington, and closes with a beautiful rendition of the Lord's Prayer by Malia Jackson at midnight to usher in Sunday morning, presented in a stunning 4K restoration. This sounds awesome. Two more Jean Roland will round this out that I did not have, and that is Night of the Hunted from Redemption, and then The Escapees. I love his style of filmmaking, so I had to get it. And then I got a title that I'm going to be getting rid of, and that is Virgin Witch. I did not mean to buy this. This was an accident. I think I meant to get a different title. Whoops. Yes, Virgin Witch. All right. So that is my Kino sale haul. Thankfully, not as big as the last one because I am running out of space like crazy, as you can see from these fucking piles. I got to get rid of shit. All right. We are coming up on a full length 2-hour show tonight. We got some comments here. Kino has a lot of great silent films on Blu-ray, and I've been trying to get like 1 or 2 from every sale. Getting up there. Eric says, "Go Rody." Kino has too much good shit. Agree, Scolder, but at least you can normally get them from like $6 to $10. Dave says, "I had ordered Count Dracula's Great Love with a slip and just discovered it may be lost in the mail. That sucks." Huh. I mean, if you ordered it, they should be able to replace it if it is lost, and they're very good about customer service. Jazz on a Summer's Day looks and sounds amazing. That's exactly what I thought. I had to get it. Oh, good. Stendhal says those are 2 of his favorite Jean Roland films. Yeah, I love his style of filmmaking. I love Kat Ellinger and Sam Deegan. The way they speak on Jean Roland, it made him be somebody that I had to seek out. So if you're ever looking for, again, like film school on some of these, Oh, that's right, Skolder. I always forget that you're not in the US. I'm sorry. Make a friend. Message me. I might be able to get some at that rate and then ship them to you. It's something. It's not as cheap. But yeah, Jean Roland, it just an infectious style of filmmaking that makes you want to just like go through his whole filmography. Absolutely love it. All right. We just hit 2 hours. Any other comments or discussion for the year of physical media? W Speaking of, I listed my 3 favorite labels in my video that came out tonight. Number 1 was Severin, number 2 was Second Sight, number 3 for this year was Kino. Anybody else have any thoughts? Any other, top 3 labels for you for the year? I'm curious what everybody else thinks. Arrow was high up on my list, Vinegar Syndrome was also high up on my list this year. Who else this year has had a great year? Again, Mondo Macabro, sleeper of a label. Not enough people talk about them. Love their work. Love Jared. I love that you can feel when you're watching it that yeah, this just feels like a Mondo Macabro film, and that's always been the case, I think. So yeah, top 3 labels. Share them in the comments. I'd love to see what some other people think. 88 Films has to be on some people's list. Eureka has to be in some people's list for sure. Eureka has killed it this year. I know that is 88 and Eureka are Flip's 2 favorite, with Kino being a third. Oh yeah, I also got this for Christmas. Watch more horror movies. This is from Studio House Designs. Hans Limburger says Indicator, Fun City, and Arrow. Indicator I listed as the most consistent label out there. Pretty much everything they put out is always it's going to be the highest quality possible, and you can't say that about everybody. So that's awesome. Mob Colt says I pretty much nailed it. Thanks, thanks. Glad you agree. Lissa Smith, I'm enjoying Raven Banner. I picked up. Uh, I think I picked up 4 Raven Banners this year, and I got to say I'm impressed. Really, first off, really good art. I'm glad that they're putting that time in there. Um, for example, the Psycho Gorman release, the Hunky Boy edition, is easily just one of my favorite releases of the year. They are in my favorite 25. That should be up in a video in the next 2 days. The big one that took everybody by storm because the art, the autopsy of Jane Doe, beautiful release. I also really liked that they did Deathgasm, and it was cool that they did 2 options for slipcovers. They had the color variant. Let's see. Eric says Severin for sure. Glad you agree. Vinegar Syndrome too. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome. Like I feel like a lot of people were down on them, but it was such a good year. Everything is just so solid. Skolder says Eureka. There's our first one saying Eureka. Eureka Indicator, Second Sight, 3 UKs. Yeah, top easily 3 that had incredible years. Flickering says based on the wallet, Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow, and Fun City. Fun City was incredibly consistent as well. I mentioned in that video tonight that they are to me like the Criterion partner label of Vinegar Syndrome. They are just absolutely incredible. Um, if you had to ask me what their worst release was this year, like I'd have trouble thinking of one to even call less than the others. They are all really good. Uh, maybe Smile, but I mean they're all so damn good. Like Walking the Edge, I Start Counting, Jeremy, that Primetime Panic box. Everything is so good. Mitchell bought the most from Arrow, Severin, Vinegar Syndrome, and Kino. That's a solid top 4. Stendhal says, I like that Mondo doesn't have an overwhelming amount coming out so you can catch up with collecting their titles. But I think it was you that said it was almost one guy doing it. Yes, it is one guy doing it. Jared does he doesn't do like the restoration work, but when you get a package, it was placed in that package by Jared himself. No one helps him. It is all him. He fixes stuff on the website. He writes up their copy. He handles like stock issues. He moved, and that delayed orders coming out for a couple weeks, so he had to shut the website down. So yeah, Mondo Macabro is all Jared. Jared is the man. Mondo Macabro is fifth for Mitchell. Nice. Arrow is top for Justin with the Shaw box. Yes. Vengeance Trails and Years of Lead. Arrow really killed it with box sets this year. Daimajin on top of that. They had the yokai monsters. They had the Cold War creatures. So many, overwhelming a number from them. Really great. Severin, Vinegar Syndrome, and 88 all tied for second and third. Nice. And that's our first 88 mention. And 88 Films is one of those labels that they get a lot of attention because of like their Jackie Chan releases. Pretty much everybody loves. I love those. I showed off the Young Master in that video today. But what's amazing about them as a label, not only do they have Jackie Chan, but they put out some of the best Jean-Claude Van Damme films. They put out a lot of horror films. They put out some Eurocrime films. They put out some Italian films. They put out stuff like Hatchet for the Honeymoon that I just showed tonight. That Armor of God was Jackie Chan, but it's such a top tier release that it's hard to stray away from. They're up in that corner. That's why I'm looking up there. But their Cat 3 stuff we've barely even talked about. Ricky O, Robo Tricks, Erotic Ghost Story, just killer output by 88 Films, and they again came to the US. That's a big point. And next year, 2022, we have Indicator coming to the US and 101 Films also coming to the US. Really, really cool. Glad that they're branching out. We should be getting some other ideas. I mean, we got Gestapo's Last Orgy because 88 Films came to the US. That's amazing. Mitchell, I agree here. Glad that they're doing US releases for those martial arts films. And we are finally getting ones in the States. They're pretty much the only one doing it right now. It's fantastic. Well, obviously now Arrow as well with the Shaw scope, and then stuff like Come Drink with Me, and we're getting a couple others, like hopefully a Diagram Pole Fighter. All right, all. Any last questions before we sign out for the night? Any other comments? I did want to end with Eric. Me too. I love Indicator. So, oh man, the fact that we're getting Mad Dog Morgan in the U.S. from them, especially, take all my hard earned money. Again, wanted to end up with telling everybody thank you so much. It's been an incredible year. I just started this channel in 2021, and it feels like I've been doing it for so long because I've gotten to know a lot of you. So many of you message me outside of YouTube. So many of you are coming to me and just having conversations about films that you enjoy, tagging me on Twitter, responding to me on the comments. When you respond in the comments on YouTube, you know that I respond to pretty much everything. I am grateful for this community, and one of the things that some people have mentioned that they like is that I have been like emotionally vulnerable for a lot of people and open about who I am as a person, where I came from, things that have affected me. And one of the things that affected me is for so long, is that I struggle with depression. And one thing that I have found that has helped this year is by having you guys. And I genuinely appreciate that. And I am grateful to have people to come to, people to reach out to me, people to be a part of my life. And I've never before this had a hobby that I genuinely wanted to pour all of who I am into it. So thank you for being there. Thank you for accepting me. Thank you for subscribing. I've been hitting right on the edge of almost 700 for like 2 weeks. So if you haven't subscribed, bump me over the edge. I appreciate you all you guys. Skolder, I'm real curious about this too. I wonder if Indicator will have US exclusives. They pretty much have to, right? Especially with how many they've released in the UK. There's got to be something else that they've got cooking up. It's the community aspect that has revitalized my film watching this year. Eric, I appreciate that comment so much more than you know. But as a community, I'm glad that you're all here. I'm glad that we're doing this. And here's to an even bigger 2022. I've got a lot of stuff that I've planned, a lot of stuff I want to do. I'm trying to build some things up and got some surprises that I'm working on for everybody. So, as always, I wanted to sign off the same way I always do and say, from one collector of all of this glorious shit, like this wonderful box set that we spent so much time ogling over tonight, I appreciate you all. Can't even speak. I appreciate you. Never mind. You know I appreciate you. Have a good night. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye.